The city lights blurred into streaks of gold and silver beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows of Marcus Chen's corner office. At 42 years old, he had built Novatech Industries from a garage startup into a technological empire worth billions. Yet tonight, surrounded by the trappings of success, he felt the familiar hollow ache that no amount of achievement could fill. He gathered the confidential merger documents and glanced at his watch. 11:47 p.m. The building was nearly empty, just how he preferred it. Marcus headed toward the executive elevator, his mind churning through financial projections and market analyses. The elevator doors opened with their usual soft chime, but something felt different the moment he stepped inside. The panel flickered strangely as he pressed the button for the parking garage. Instead of descending smoothly, the elevator lurched downward with unexpected speed, passing level after level. Marcus frowned, jabbing at the emergency stop button, but nothing responded. The elevator plunged deeper than he knew the building went, finally shuddering to a halt with a mechanical groan. The doors opened onto a corridor Marcus had never seen before. Unlike the modern, minimalist design of Novatech's upper floors, this hallway was constructed of brushed metal and pulsed with soft blue ambient lighting. His rational mind told him to return to the elevator and call security, but curiosity pulled him forward. His footsteps echoed against the metallic floor as he walked deeper into the mysterious level. The corridor opened into a vast laboratory filled with technology that shouldn't exist. Crystalline structures hummed with energy. Holographic displays showed star systems he'd never seen, and at the center of it all stood equipment that made Earth's most advanced computers look primitive. "You shouldn't be here," a voice said from behind him. Marcus spun around, his heart hammering. A woman stood in the laboratory's entrance, but calling her simply a woman felt inadequate. She wore a white lab coat over dark clothing, her features elegant and sharp. But as she moved closer, the air around her shimmered, and for a split second he saw something else entirely. Smooth skin in a deep shade of purple, eyes that held galaxies within them, and an otherworldly grace that made his breath catch. The shimmer stabilized, returning her to the human appearance, but Marcus had seen the truth. They stared at each other across the impossible laboratory, and in that moment of recognition something passed between them that transcended the shock of discovery. "What are you?" Marcus whispered, though his tone held wonder rather than fear. She studied him carefully, her expression calculating yet somehow vulnerable. "Dr. Arya Vexus. And you, Marcus Chen, have just stumbled into Earth's most closely guarded secret." Her holographic disguise flickered again, offering another glimpse of violet skin that seemed to shift with subtle, mesmerizing patterns. Marcus felt the floor tilt beneath him, his entire understanding of reality crumbling and reforming in the space between heartbeats. "I won't tell anyone," he heard himself say, surprising them both. "But I need to understand." Arya's lips curved into the smallest smile, and Marcus realized with startling clarity that his life would never be the same. The dangerous alliance. Marcus couldn't sleep. For 3 nights, images of the hidden laboratory and the mysterious woman with purple skin haunted his thoughts. He went through the motions at work, attending meetings and signing documents, but his mind remained in that impossible underground facility. On the 4th night, he found himself riding the executive elevator again, deliberately pressing the sequence of buttons that had malfunctioned before. This time he suspected it hadn't been a malfunction at all. The elevator descended smoothly into the depths, and when the doors opened, Arya was waiting for him. "I knew you'd come back," she said, her holographic disguise in place but her real eyes visible beneath, swirling with colors that didn't exist in Earth's spectrum. "I had to," Marcus admitted, stepping into the corridor. "I have about 1,000 questions, and I can't focus on anything else." Arya led him into the laboratory, moving between the alien equipment with practiced ease. "Ask your questions, Marcus Chen. You've earned some answers by keeping my secret." Over the next hour, she explained everything. She had been on Earth for 3 years, part of an intergalactic research council that observed developing civilizations. Her people, the Veloxians, had been monitoring humanity's technological progress for decades. They believed Earth was approaching a crucial threshold that would determine if humanity was ready for contact with the wider galactic community. "Your company," Arya said, pulling up holographic schematics that Marcus recognized as Novatech's latest processor designs, "has unknowingly reverse-engineered technology from a probe that crashed in the Arctic 15 years ago. You've been accelerating Earth's progress without realizing the source of your inspiration. Marcus stared at the designs, his mind reeling. His greatest achievement, the quantum processor that had revolutionized computing, had been based on fragments of alien technology his research team discovered in materials purchased from a salvage company. "Why are you telling me this?" he asked. Arya's disguise flickered, revealing more of her true form. Up close, he could see the intricate bioluminescent patterns beneath her purple skin, pulsing gently like a heartbeat made visible. "Because you found me and you chose to keep my secret. That says something about your character." Their meetings became regular occurrences. Marcus would finish his official duties and descend into the hidden laboratory, where Arya would share wonders that redefined his understanding of the universe. She showed him star maps of civilizations that had been thriving when Earth's dinosaurs walked. She demonstrated technology that could heal injuries in seconds and create energy from seemingly nothing. But more than the technology, Marcus found himself drawn to Arya herself. Her brilliant mind moved at light speed, making connections and leaps of logic that left him breathless. Yet beneath her scientific precision, he sensed a profound loneliness that mirrored his own. During their fifth meeting, as Arya was explaining the principles of faster-than-light travel, alarms suddenly blared throughout the laboratory. Red lights flashed across the holographic displays. "Security breach," Arya said, her voice tight with tension. "Someone's trying to access this level." Marcus's stomach dropped. "How is that possible? This place doesn't officially exist." "Someone has been tracking unusual power signatures. We have maybe 2 minutes before they breach the outer doors." Without hesitation, Marcus grabbed Arya's hand, feeling the unexpected warmth of her alien skin. "I know every inch of this building. There's an old maintenance shaft that connects to the service tunnels. Follow me." They ran through the laboratory, Arya quickly activating protocols that would lock down her equipment. The sound of cutting torches echoed through the corridor as they reached a concealed panel Marcus remembered from building schematics. He pried it open, and they squeezed into the narrow shaft, their bodies pressed close in the confined space. Marcus could feel Arya's rapid breathing, smell the strange, sweet scent of her alien biology, like ozone and night-blooming flowers. "Thank you," she whispered in the darkness as the sounds of security teams filled the laboratory behind them. "We're not safe yet," Marcus replied. But his hand found hers again, and neither of them pulled away as they navigated the hidden passages beneath his empire. But more than the technology, Marcus found himself drawn to Arya herself. Her brilliant mind moved at light speed, making connections and leaps of logic that left him breathless. Yet beneath her scientific precision, he sensed a profound loneliness that mirrored his own. During their fifth meeting, as Arya was explaining the principles of faster-than-light travel, alarms suddenly blared throughout the laboratory. Red lights flashed across the holographic displays. "Security breach," Arya said, her voice tight with tension. "Someone's trying to access this level." Marcus's stomach dropped. "How is that possible?" "This place doesn't officially exist. Someone has been tracking unusual power signatures. We have maybe 2 minutes before they breach the outer doors." Without hesitation, Marcus grabbed Arya's hand, feeling the unexpected warmth of her alien skin. "I know every inch of this building. There's an old maintenance shaft that connects to the service tunnels. Follow me." They ran through the laboratory, Arya quickly activating protocols that would lock down her equipment. The sound of cutting torches echoed through the corridor as they reached a concealed panel Marcus remembered from building schematics. He pried it open and they squeezed into the narrow shaft, their bodies pressed close in the confined space. Marcus could feel Arya's rapid breathing, smell the strange, sweet scent of her alien biology, like ozone and night-blooming flowers. "Thank you," she whispered in the darkness as the sounds of security teams filled the laboratory behind them. "We're not safe yet," Marcus replied, but his hand found hers again, and neither of them pulled away as they navigated the hidden passages beneath his empire. Part 3: Forbidden Feelings. The security breach changed everything. Marcus moved Arya to an abandoned server room on the 20th floor, a space slated for renovation that no one would access for months. He personally installed additional security measures, creating a sanctuary where she could continue her work without detection. Their meetings shifted from purely informational to something deeper, more personal. Marcus would arrive after hours with dinner from the city's best restaurants, and they would eat while discussing everything from quantum mechanics to classical music. Arya, he discovered, had spent months studying human culture and was fascinated by Earth's art and literature. "On my world, we've optimized everything," she told him one evening, her disguise completely down in the privacy of their hideaway. Her purple skin glowed softly in the dim light, the bioluminescent patterns beneath shifting with her emotions. "Efficiency is valued above all else. But here, humans create beauty for its own sake. You write poems that serve no practical purpose. You compose music that exists simply to make people feel. It's illogical and it's wonderful." Marcus found himself captivated by the way her eyes reflected the city lights, how her expressions were both alien and achingly familiar. "Is it lonely?" he asked quietly. "Being so far from home, hiding who you really are?" Arya's patterns dimmed. A sign he'd learned indicated sadness. "More than you can imagine. I have colleagues I report to, but no one here truly knows me. I watch humans connect with each other, form bonds and relationships, and She trailed off, looking away. "You're not alone anymore," Marcus said, moving closer. "I see you, Arya. Not the disguise, not the scientist, but you." She turned to him, and the vulnerability in her eyes made his chest ache. "And what do you see?" "Someone extraordinary. Someone brilliant and brave, who left everything she knew to study a world that might never accept her. Someone who makes me feel alive for the first time in years." The space between them seemed to crackle with energy. Marcus had built an empire through calculated decisions and careful risk assessment, but nothing in his experience had prepared him for this moment. Arya's bioluminescent patterns began to glow brighter, cascading across her skin in waves of light that illuminated the darkness around them. "My patterns," she said softly. "They respond to emotion. Right now they're showing things I shouldn't feel for a human." "Show me," Marcus whispered. Arya reached up, touching his face with fingers that were warm and impossibly smooth. The patterns on her skin intensified, creating a light show of purples, blues, and silvers that danced across her features. Marcus covered her hand with his own, marveling at how right it felt despite the impossibility of it all. "This is forbidden," she breathed, but she didn't pull away. "My people, your people, they would never understand." "Then let this moment be ours alone." Marcus leaned in, giving her every opportunity to stop him, but instead, Arya closed the distance between them. Their lips met, and Marcus felt electricity surge through his entire body. Her kiss was like nothing he'd experienced, warm and cool simultaneously, tasting of starlight and mystery. When they finally pulled apart, both were trembling. Arya's patterns were blazing across her skin, creating an aurora of light that made her look like a living constellation. "I've broken every protocol," she said, but she was smiling and her hand remained intertwined with his. "So have I," Marcus replied, touching his forehead to hers. "And I'd do it again." They sat together in the darkness, wrapped in each other's presence and the soft glow of her bioluminescent patterns. For a few precious hours, the impossibility of their situation didn't matter. There was only the warmth of connection, the excitement of discovery, and the dangerous, wonderful feeling of falling for someone you could never truly have. But in the depths of space, on a ship orbiting Earth's moon, Commander Zek reviewed reports from his scout. Dr. Arya Vexus's mission was complete. It was time for her to come home. His transmission would reach her by morning, and the choice that would shatter two worlds would have to be made. Retry U4 Part 4. The Betrayal and Truth. Marcus arrived at Novatech headquarters earlier than usual, his mind still replaying the previous night with Arya. The memory of her bioluminescent patterns glowing in the darkness. The warmth of her embrace made him smile despite the complications their relationship created, but his smile faded when he found Elena Rodriguez waiting in his office. Elena had been his business partner for 8 years, the chief operating officer who had helped build Novatech into what it was today. She sat in his chair, a tablet in her hand and an expression on her face he'd never seen before. Cold calculation mixed with triumph. "Elena, what are you doing here so early?" "Waiting for you, Marcus." She turned the tablet toward him and his blood ran cold. The screen displayed surveillance footage of him entering the hidden server room, time-stamped from multiple nights over the past 2 weeks. "I don't understand," Marcus said carefully, though his mind was racing through implications and consequences. "Don't insult my intelligence. I've known something was off for weeks. Your distraction, the unusual power draws to a supposedly empty floor, your late-night visits to restricted areas." Elena stood, circling around the desk like a predator. So I did some digging. Imagine my surprise when I discovered what you've been hiding. Or should I say who? Marcus felt his stomach drop. Elena, listen to me. No, you listen. Her voice turned sharp as broken glass. I've spent years building this company alongside you, watching you make all the decisions, take all the credit. Did you know the board wanted to make me CEO last year? But they chose you instead. Always you. This isn't about the company, Marcus said, understanding dawning. This is about power. Elena smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Smart as always. Here's how this works. You sign over controlling interest of Novatech to me, or I make a few phone calls. I'm sure the government would be very interested in the alien technology you've been hiding. And I imagine they'd have questions about your purple-skinned friend. The threat hung in the air between them. Marcus's mind worked frantically, searching for options, for leverage, for anything that could protect Arya. You can't do this, he said quietly. I already have. The board meets in 3 hours. You'll announce you're stepping down due to health concerns, and I'll take over. Sign the papers, Marcus, or Dr. Vexus becomes a government lab experiment. Before Marcus could respond, his phone buzzed with an urgent message from Arya. We need to talk now, it's important. Marcus looked at Elena, at the woman he'd trusted for nearly a decade, and realized he'd been blind to her ambition. I need time to think. You have until the board meeting. 3 hours, Marcus. Choose wisely. He left Elena in his office and took the stairs 2 at a time to the 20th floor. Arya was pacing when he entered, her holographic disguise flickering with agitation. The moment she saw him, she rushed forward. Marcus, I received a transmission from my superior, Commander Zek. He's ordering me to complete my assessment and return home. My mission is over. The double blow of Elena's betrayal and Arya's impending departure nearly knocked him off balance. When? He's given me 48 hours. Her patterns were swirling in distressed waves across her skin. But there's more. My assessment will determine Earth's readiness for first contact. Everything I've learned here, everything I've observed goes into a report that will shape your planet's future for generations. Marcus ran his hands through his hair, feeling the walls closing in. Elena knows about you. She's blackmailing me, threatening to expose you to the government unless I give her the company.